Ladies and gentlemen, the following presentation is rated R. Rich and real content using strong, suggestive language. Please turn off your phone, close your Facebook, and open your mind. And now, the man who has turned thousands of agents into real estate rock stars. He is known as the Expired Guru, the Tony Robbins of real estate. He is the author of the Success Plus Plan, the Expired Plus, and his latest system, Core Influence. Please welcome your coach, Burrino. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our final business tune-up of 2014. This is your coach, Burrino. It's great to have you. I'm really excited you're joining us. We had a lot of people who signed up today, so it's going to be pretty busy. It's going to be crowded, which is great. That's what makes these tune-ups cool. That's what makes it exciting. You guys participating, having fun, having a good time. Those of you that are on the phone, let me just double check that you can hear. Everybody should be good, right? We are in the Q&A mode, but you should be able to hear me, no problem. And let me just make sure we are good on our Listing University, where you can watch the replay. You can watch the replay three ways, really. You can watch it on YouTube if you want. There is a live stream set up there. You can watch it on the Listing University webpage, or you can just listen to it if you want over the phone if you don't have access. But the stream is live. Now, one thing about the stream I've got to tell you. We are about 60 seconds behind on the stream. Okay, the picture is good. I can see. Let me see the audio. Where you can watch the replay. You can watch the replay three ways. Okay, cool. So we have the audio going. The comments are there. The best way, or you and I can chat, I'll tell you in just a moment. I have a cool book for you. I have some cool strategies for you. So we're going to have a good time for about an hour and a half or so. Depends how long we're going to have fun, right? But it should be about an hour and a half. And with that, let me see what we got here. So first things first. Welcome. This is the official welcome. My audio is good. All right, so we're ready to rock and roll. Burrino with you on this lovely day. Welcome to the Burrino Worldwide Marketing Headquarters. We're coming to you live just outside of Washington, D.C., this lovely place called Lake Barcroft in Northern Virginia, just over the water. And let's start with how do we chat today? What are we going to talk about? How do we chat? Here's the number. If you want to call in, this will be a live broadcast. You can call in. The number is 805-399-1200. Then you're going to enter the conference code, which was 143153, and then a pound sign. 143153 pound. And if you want to get into the queue to actually talk to me and do the Q&A queue, you're going to hit *6, and we'll chat. Really, that's simple. All right. So, all is well. Everything is good. All right, got my lovely little orange juice ready to go. There should have been some vodka in it, don't you think? So today we're going to focus on several things. Of course, how to get more leads, how to get more appointments, and how to get more listings. Those are the three things I teach you more than anything, because that's really where the money is. That's really where the business is. If you master these three things, these are the three moving parts I always talk about. Know how to get listings. Have 3-4 good systems to generate listings. Know how to convert those listings into appointments through good follow-up. And then know what to do once you sit in front of the seller, how to turn an appointment into a listing. If you figure out these three, if you get good at these three, if you have pretty good systems in these three areas, you have a profitable business, no question about it. So today specifically, I'm going to talk about referrals. I want to show you one thing, and I want to show you some examples, what to do right now. We are right before Christmas. We are a week away from Christmas. This is a great time to reconnect with your SOI. And I'm not just talking with your past clients. If you have them, fantastic, we're going to include them. But the ideas and tips I'm going to give you work just as well, just with the people you come in contact with. This could be people you do business with. This could be a Starbucks employee. This could be your grocery checkout lady. This could be your gardener. You never know. And the reason it's important to include everybody is because they either can become a client or they know somebody who can. According to the NAR, one person knows 4 people who will move in the next 12 months. One person knows 4 people, average of course, that knows someone who's going to move. So now think about it. If you know 20 people, that's 80 potential moves, right? 80 potential moves. Now, not everybody, of course, will become a client. Some will be renting. Some will move out of the area. Some you will never reach, never connect, whatever. But even if you just got 10%, that's 8 extra transactions you can do. That's just out of those referrals. Now they can snowball into more listings, other referrals, double-ended transactions, and so on. Very important to have it part of your business. This is where I screwed up. And the reason I screwed up when I started, as you know my story, being an immigrant, I didn't know many people. I didn't know hardly anybody. So I thought, well, this part of the business can do. I didn't realize that you can build an SOI very quickly, and you can connect with even a small group of people and convert them into business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Any questions you have, come on, call. It's a live call. This is for you. Every question goes. Any question is a good question. If you get stuck on objections, if you have trouble generating a lead, a system is not performing well for you, if you have a hard time with a specific client or a situation, call me up. Let's see if we can fix it. Let's see if I can help you and we can inspire others. All right? One thing I always like to start with, and that's a recommended book. Right now I'm reading a book by Katie Byron, and it is fantastic. It is called Loving What Is. If you struggle with people that annoy you, God knows we have all of them, right? We have at least one or two. I know I do. If there are situations that really stress you out, if you worry about things quite a bit, if there are people that you'd rather kill or not have in your life, if any of this is happening, if there is stress and tension and unpleasantness in your life, whether real estate related or personal, pick up this book. Really good read. Really good read. Very enjoyable. I have it on my Kindle. I'm about 2/3 through it, and it is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended. Katie Byron, Loving What Is. Pick it up on Amazon or wherever you buy books. Very, very, very good read. Highly recommend it. So that's the book of the day. Oh, the phone number. Okay, here it is. Thanks for the reminder. So if you want to get in the queue, if you and I want to chat, simply hit *6 on your phone for those folks that are listening on the broadcast over the phone. And I'm going to bring you online and we're going to chat. All right, my friends? So with that, let's get started. There's one thing I want to show you, because right now we have Christmas here. Let me just go to my desk here. I want to show you a couple of things. Yeah, this is it. All right. So we recently did a live workshop here in Washington, D.C. And my man Al, rockstar real estate agent from Canada, Al Mattis, shortly after sent me a postcard, a birthday card, which was really, really cool. And it's really funny. Let me show it to you. It's a documented fact. As your age goes higher, look at this. So do your pants. See that? They actually move. And I thought really, really funny. That was very clever. Al, if you're watching this, my man, thank you. That was really, really cool. And there was a little personal note wishing me happy birthday and his signature. Now, why am I showing you this? Here we are, a week from Christmas. How can you quickly reconnect with your sphere of influence? What can you do right now, and I mean this afternoon, to reconnect with these people without being needy, without being just another annoying, stupid agent begging for business, begging for referrals, which obviously doesn't work all that well? What can you do? Well, of course, you can send one of these if you have your client's birthday. That's a no-brainer. But there's more than you can do. Pick up a box of Christmas cards. Regular Christmas cards. We're not talking company logos. We're not talking corporate. Don't go cheap. It's important than the experience. See, the cool thing about the card that Al sent me was that it was fun. It was personal. It was funny. And it didn't feel like it came from a giant box of cards. You can create the same experience with your sphere of influence. Whether it's 10 people, 20, 30, doesn't matter. So I know local stores like Costco has a pretty good deal on really nice Christmas cards. Pick those up. Holiday cards, whatever you celebrate or whatever your sphere celebrates. Pick those up. Put an address on it, first class stamp, short little note. Now here's the trick. It needs to sound like a friend sending a card, a holiday card to a friend. It needs to be like a neighbor sending a card to a neighbor. It needs to have a tone you would use if you write your sister, your brother, your mom. Same tone, friendly. Short and simple. Doesn't need to be complicated, long, and it should definitely not say, oh, next year when you're ready to move, I'm here to help. Or if you know somebody, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. It starts skewing the experience. Now remember on the sign-up page, I said there is one mistake you should avoid, and that's the business card killer. These type of cards, especially Christmas, holiday, birthday, should not now make sure you get me, should not include your business card. The reason I reacted so well to Al's card, and many others, by the way, for those of you that send me the holiday cards and thank you cards, I very much appreciate it. Read every single one of them. Keep them. They're fun, so thank you. The reason they're fun and the reason the experience is different is because there is no business intent. There is no commercial intent. There is no solicitation in it. It's a heartwarming or heartfelt message you're sending to your sphere of influence. So here's what you do. Simple steps. Pick up a box of them today. If you have done it already, send them out. First class mail, handwrite the addresses. Do the best you can. I know within the next 5 days, there's only so many you can do. And I'll explain to you why that's a good thing, sending them late, by the way, in just a moment. Send them out. Now, how do they know who is it from? Are you freaking out right now? Or what if they don't know who sent this? I need to put my business card there. You don't have to. Here's the trick. Sign it with your name, and on the back of the envelope, you're going to either put a label, that's fine, or your name. But here's how you're going to do it. Even if you're going to use your return address to your office, you're going to put your full name and just the address. You're going to skip the company name so that the impression is still this comes from a person. This is not a business card. Because you get those Christmas cards, right? I used to get them from title companies and lenders. And it was very corporate, very stale, very kind of distant, very clear that they were after my business and were using it just to abuse it. You know what I mean? So don't do that. Make it personal. Even if you can get out just 20, that's fine. But we're going to do it in a process. So let me start with that. So here's the process. So first, numero uno, you're going to send these cards out. The more, the better. The more, the better. Handwritten, personal feel to them. That's number one. And number two, no business card. Remember that. No, absolutely no business card. It cannot smell of business. This needs to be very personal. Even the tone, the way you're going to write, should be very, very personal. Step number three, you're going to call them right before the holidays. As we get closer to the holidays, invest maybe 6 hours, depending on the size of your database. But maybe 2 3-hour sessions where you just dial one after the other. And you divide it into 2. 3 hours and then 3 hours. Okay? And then those people, you start with the first 3-hour session. Just dial. Boom, boom, boom. I'll give you what you say in just a moment. Hang in there. I won't let you hang in. Don't you worry. Your man Borino got you hooked up, right, Mr. Santa? Wait till you see my hat. So you spend the first 3 hours talking to people. Those that you don't reach, you're going to try again, plus you add more to it. So by the time you're done, you should be talking to your people in your sphere of influence. So what do you say? Very personal, very simple, very short. No intent to solicit business or anything. These could also be your leads, by the way, if you have some hot leads. Let me add that there. Include hot leads, not just your SOI. If you really have a lead that you know they're going to do something right after the holidays. I've talked to them, I have a good connection with them, they're going to do something, bam, do the same thing. Works like gangbusters. Why? Because not many people do it this way. Yes, other agents send holiday cards, but it's the business card, it's the giant company logo, very different experience. Okay? So you're going to include your hot leads, and then you're going to call them. And you say something super simple. Hey, Jack, it's Borino with ABC Real Estate. I just wanted to wish you very happy holidays. I very much appreciate connecting with you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And I wanted to wish you a lovely holiday. What are you guys' plans? What are your plans? The way you turn it into a personal conversation, not only you're interested in what are they going to do, are you going to cook? Are you going to have family over? And are you done with the Christmas presents? Again, it can be short. You don't need to turn this into a 20-minute elaborate discussion. But you offer something personal in return. So as you talk to them, it's personal. Personal. Not arsenal, personal. Okay? So the conversation will be personal. Now, the way you keep it personal, you ask personal questions. But you also share something personal. Well, you know, my mom is coming to town, so we're going to spend the holidays at home, or we're going skiing, or something. Again, one simple thing. It creates a different vibe in the conversation. It brings on a different quality. Is that making sense? Do you guys get it? Okay. So super personal. That's it. This is the 5-step process. No business card, send the card, follow up with the call, set it up in 2 sessions, make sure you reach as many people as possible. Now here's the cool part. If you don't reach them and the card still went out, you're going to follow up after Christmas on, let's say, the 27th. And instead of wishing them Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, you're going to wish them Happy New Year. Same thing. 27th, calls continue. See, it's the magic of combining the personal card with the personal call that develops one thing you absolutely need to be a rock star with referrals. And you guys probably know what it is. There's one word. Let me write it. You know what? I'm going to write it in green because it's important. We're going multimedia on you. Full color here, right? We're not cheapskates. You're getting it in full color HD. So here's the word that you need to focus on. And that's trust. Trust. Can you guys see it? Is it there? Yeah. Trust. Trust. Super important. Super important. This is how you build it. This is how you build connection. Because if you just send a regular card or no card, or if you just keep calling them, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? The dynamic of the relationship is salesperson versus customer. A lot of defense. I got to protect myself. There are a lot of assholes out there. There are a lot of dicks out there. There are a lot of bad agents who all they want is to list my property quickly, then give it away to make a quick buck. And I have to protect myself from it. So the way you tear down that wall is through trust by doing this. Keeping it very personal. It's just like neighbor talking to a neighbor. Just like if you knocked on your neighbor's door and say, hey, Mary, just wanted to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the best. That's it. Now, I remember I told you it's good if you're sending it late. Why? There's a psychological principle called the law of reciprocity. You ever get those labels in the mail from like charities and stuff? They send you free print labels. It's called a boomerang. That's a law of reciprocity. Free samples. You walk into a grocery store, right? We were in Costco recently. And you know how they have those stations with those lovely pastries, the cheese stuffed pastries, and it smells so good. And you bite one and it's so good. And then you feel guilty for not buying it because you ate it, right? So you buy some. It's the same principle. It's the law of reciprocity that you're going to evoke. When they get your card, chances are they did not send you one back, right? They never send you a Christmas card. What's the first feeling they get? Is a feeling of guilt, right? Connection first, obviously. Pleasant feelings, Christmas. But also a little sense of guilt. Like, oh shit, I should have sent, oh man. Suddenly there's a sense of disbalance and obligation. So now they feel like subconsciously, this is the cool thing, this is all happening under radar, that they owe you a favor. And you now have increased, by building trust, by doing this, your chances of developing a bigger connection, deeper connection with them. Because now they feel the connection to you, and now they feel like, oh, they owe you a little bit. Are you getting that? It's a really cool advanced psychological strategy. So it's okay if they don't send you the card back, and it's okay if you send it late. That actually works in your favor. Now, the magic happens in a combination of having the conversation and sending them the cards. That's where the magic happens. Don't rely just on cards alone. Combine it with a short, quick phone call. And if you struggle with phone calls, or if you're not 100% confident, if you're really having a hard time conveying good information and being strong and being confident, I'll show in just a moment how we can fix it fairly quickly. There is one piece of mail I wanted to show you, which I really liked. For some reason, I got a thing for Maserati. I'm not on the market for a Maserati, but they sent me this cool little mailing. Now, here's the cool thing. They sent two. There are two cards. One is exclusive offers pre-owned vehicles from Maserati, and one is introducing their new car. So the way they get attention is instead of sending just one, they send two. They include two pieces there. So you might consider doing the same thing. Be creative. What can you include? One for Christmas, one for Happy New Year. There can be all kinds of things you can do. All right? Thank you card can be another one. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. All right, my friends? So that's the strategy. Really do this. Really implement it. It is not that hard to do. It is not hard to do. It is not expensive. It is not hard. Yes, it requires some work. You shouldn't be doing the work. There should be somebody else who can do the labels. If you're doing the labels, I don't recommend it. It's better if you handwrite the address. But worst comes to worst, just do the labels. It's fine. Better than nothing. Stuff them, sign them, send them out. Send me one, too. You have my address, right? All right, folks. Let's see. Anybody want to talk on the phone? I will show you. The number is right here. 805-399-1200 is the number. Code is 143153. And then to actually go into a queue so that I know you and I will be talking, you must hit *6 on the telephone. And do me a favor, if you're listening on the computer, just mute it because we are a little bit on a delay as the broadcast goes out. So hit *6 to put you in the queue. All right, so now, since we're already talking about the referrals, there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Because referrals, and don't just take my word for it, according to the National Association of Realtors, as long as they've been tracking it, are the #1 source of listings. Most sellers find their agent as a result of a referral. They either know him, her, or the agent was referred to them. #1 source. There is no other source of business more profitable, more efficient than getting referrals. So come 2015, you got to get this down. New agent, old agent, doesn't matter. Experienced veteran or a rookie, doesn't matter. Big chunk of your business should be coming to you. So to make it work, there are 4 things you got to know with referrals. And this is one of those things you might want to jot down. And more importantly, you might start figuring out, how am I going to use this in the business? What do I have to do to make this work? Am I doing this well? And the answer is, if you're not getting a bunch of referrals, if you're not closing a lot of transactions on a regular basis, chances are one of these 4 things I'm about to give you is screwed up. All right? So here's what everybody on your sphere of influence has to know. Now, these are 2 groups. First is your actual sphere of influence. And this is everybody, your car mechanic, your doctor, your neighbors, everybody that you come in contact with. That's first part of your database. If you don't have it, start building it. You can add 3, 4, 5 names every day to it. Not that hard. Just ask. Ask for people. What is your name? What is your phone number? I'd like to keep in touch, send you some helpful, cool information. You might find it interesting. The second are your ambassadors. These are your VIPs in your sphere of influence. This would be your family, if you're in good relationship with them, like I am. I'm lucky. This would be your close friends. This would be your immediate neighbors, past clients that you have good relationship with, and if you don't, rekindle it. You can bring it back. These are people who will absolutely, positively, if they know someone who needs a good real estate agent, would refer you. So those are ambassadors. So now, all of these need to know 4 things. Okay? Your name, who you are. Okay? You might think that's a no-brainer. Huh? You'd be surprised. People are busy. They're distracted. We're thinking about a million things. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're doing all these things. It's easy to forget. So your name needs to be in front of them quite often. Hence the Christmas card. See how it's all coming together? What you do? What do you do? What do you do? I help first-time buyers find their dream homes and negotiate a great price for them. I help sellers in, let's say, Falls Church, Virginia, I help sellers sell their property for the most money possible in the shortest amount possible. They must know what you do. 3, how to get in touch with you. How do they get in touch with you? With your sphere of influence, have your email? If they need to get hold of you, if they had a question, would they know where to call? Must be readily accessible and available to them. And then the 4th one, why you can be trusted. Because even if they know who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you, if they don't trust you, you ain't getting shit. Pretty simple, right? So they must know who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you, and why you can be trusted. This is the important part. Because it's the trust where they know you're going to take care of their mom, their neighbor, their friend that they refer you to. that you're going to get referrals. So if you're not getting enough referrals, if your business, big chunk of your business, is not coming to you, fix one of these three or one of these four or all four. That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. So the process is this. How do you fix it? Let's do the wipey. Everybody got this? I mean, it seems a little basic maybe, but I'm not here to insult your intelligence, but that really is the answer. So now, how to build that trust, the connection, how do they remember you? What do they know what to do if somebody says, we want to buy or sell? Here's the process. Step number one, repetition. Notice that all big marketing campaigns, television ads, direct mail, email, anything requires repetition. Every time you want to introduce a new product, a new service, it requires repetition. You don't just see one ad on television for Budweiser. It's a continuous thing. The constant reminder is the first part. You must repeat the contacts. You vary the contacts. So there's repetition, there's variation. Why is that? Well, some people respond better to postcards. Some people connect with you over the phone. Some like letters. Some emails. It just depends. So you need to mix it up. Now, with repetition and variation comes familiarity. Right? This stuff becomes familiar with you. Your name suddenly rings a bell. You want to reach a level of familiarity so high then that, let's say there's a new listing on their street. They are more familiar with you, and through repetition, would rather call you and find out about the new listing than the listing agent or the number on the for sale sign. Repetition, variation, familiarity creates comfort. They're comfortable with it. They're comfortable with your name, with your appearance, with your face. Looks familiar to them. It creates a sense of comfort. Suddenly there is no wall between a real estate agent and a customer. It feels more familiar. There's a sense of closeness through this process, which results in the final and the most important one. That's an arrow, by the way. Kind of artistic arrow. And that's what? Everybody say it with me. I can hear you, through the magic of HD television now, I can hear your voice. So it's trust. That's how you built it. You repeat, vary, create familiarity, instead comfort, go to trust. That's the secret. Make sense? If, again, you're not getting referrals, somewhere here this is broken. There's not enough trust because it's going to come down to this. So here's how you fix it. It can be fairly easy to fix. Shouldn't be that hard. This is not a hard part of the business. And the reason it's not hard is not just because they come to you and they trust you, but also the person that's referred to you is already coming in with a certain sense of trust, which is important. So you don't start cold. You don't start from zero. There's already some built in. You still have to work it and build on it, of course. If you screw it up, especially in the initial conversation or connection, you're dead. It's not going to work, obviously. But you have a head start. You're ahead. Yeah? All right. So let's talk. How about you hit *6 on the phone and we can do a little chat. Anybody wants to talk? Any questions? No? Let me just make sure this is running. Is it good stuff so far? Are you guys enjoying it? All right. Michael Eric says, hi there, Captain Borino. Hey, Mike. Good to have you. All right, let me just switch the camera. So here is the number if you want to dial in and ask questions. I'm here to help. All right, Patricia's checking in. Looking forward to tune-up. Having a good time. Augustina is checking in. A bunch of you are here. Fantastic. All right. So, since we don't have anybody in the queue to ask questions, oh, we do. Wonderful. Hey, Fabian, it's Borino. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Who is this?
This is Ora from Florida.
Ora from Florida. Good to have you. Thanks for calling in. All right. How you doing? Enjoying it so far? Is it good information so far?
Sorry?
Is it a good information so far? Are you enjoying it?
Very good. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I will follow up with you after this.
Please do. Any question?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes. Okay. I am kind of a local person in my market. I'm from an area that I really know very well because I have been in it for 15 years.
Okay.
I'm in Florida. So Florida is one of the states that have a lot of realtors. It's one of the biggest boards, especially Miami-Dade.
Yeah. Are you in Miami area, Aura?
Excuse me?
Are you in the Miami area? Are you close to Miami?
I am in Miami-Dade. I'm close to Aventura.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened here is that everybody information is out, that clients have a tendency to contact not one, not two, but 5 different realtors.
Okay.
So they catch information from one realtor and they go to the next and they try to play games. And it happens to me that I had a client and I saw a property and the listing agent told me, this person has been here 3 times with 3 different realtors. So we are kind of, some realtors decide, ask right up front, if you are working with other realtor, I'm not interested to do business with you.
Yeah.
And some other people say, well, a commission is a commission. If they want to do business with me, it's their choice. I'm not forcing them.
Okay.
But we are kind of oversaturated with realtors, and clients are not, I don't think it's ethical to call, 5, 10 different realtors and have them waste their time and their effort.
So what is your question, how do you stand out in a competitive market like that? How do you get a bigger
how do
piece
you handle this situation?
Okay. I'll give you several.
Because we all have the same access to the MLS, to the market. It's very much, the information is out there. Trulia and Lilio and all this is not helping because it's not right updated. Here the market is fast.
Uh-huh.
So, but,
Okay, let me give you some points,
or these kind of funny situations, and
let me give you some points that will help you. Let me give you some points that will help you.
Right.
I'm going to give you some ideas. Some may apply to many of you, but many of you guys are in competitive market. Many of you compete with other agents, and of course, sellers are picky. So I'm going to start with the most important one, and also the one that most of you do not want to address. You ready?
Yes.
Your mind. Your mind. Your expectations, your attitude, your state determines your experience. So what do I mean by that? If you wake up in the morning and go, oh shit, I'm going to deal with another seller who is greedy and is going to shop for commission and talk to 15 agents and it's going to be really hard and I don't stand out in any way and this is a very competitive market and a bunch of agents I have to always go up against and this business is no fun and I really despise it, guess what you're going to get? More of the same. More of the same. So start with the most important, which is your mindset. That's really where it all begins. And there are tools and resources. We're not going to get into all of that today, how to do that. You already have plenty from me and many others. But that's the foundation. See, if I wake up in the morning saying there are plenty of clients out there, there's so much money to be made. I mean, think about it. NAR said there were, 1.5 million transactions or 5 million transactions or something like that, crazy high number. 5 million transactions closed this year. Think about it.
Right.
5 million deals this year. Are there agents in your area who are doing well? A lot of clients, a lot of listings, driving a nice car, wearing nice clothes, making a lot of money, buying investment properties, living in a nice home. Do you have people like that in your area?
Sorry?
Do you have agents like that in your area?
Yes.
Yeah. So somebody's doing it right already. Somebody figured it out. And guess what? That was a step 1, is the right mindset. So that's number 1. Number 2 is your first impression. Critical. You know, in the new program I just released, Core Influence. Do you have it, Aura? Do you have the Core Influence program?
No.
You might want to consider getting it because we spend a lot of time on first impression. And the reason I'm saying you might want to get it is because if there are 10 agents, 5 agents, 10 agents, whatever, line up And the seller talks to every single one of them or interacts with every single one of them, and they all sound the same. They say the same things, they sound the same, they all want the same things, and when they're asked, how are you any different, they come up with, well, I have this marketing plan, and I have these buyers, and we advertise on websites, and blah, 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 blah. It's all the same to the seller. So the way you interact, the first few seconds of your interaction with the seller will determine how you're perceived, how you're evaluated, and whether you have a chance to score a listing, get an appointment, get a listing or not. So that's number 2, your first impression. Number 3 is your positioning. How you position yourself. See, if from the beginning you position yourself, and mainly through your communication, and also through marketing to some degree, but primarily how you talk to these people, the questions you ask, how you communicate with them. If you position yourself from the beginning as an expert, as an authority, and as an advisor, you're going to immediately stand out from all the other salespeople. And again, a lot of this comes down to your skill and your ability to communicate. How confident you are, what kind of expert you are, how well you know the market. And also one more thing, how willing are you to walk away from that client? See, it's only one of 2 things is happening. Either you're chasing the client and the listing, which is most agents do, or they chase you. Because you're that authority, you're somebody very different, you suddenly appear like somebody who's very helpful, very cool, knowledgeable, but also not needy, very comfortable. And if you position yourself that way from the beginning, then suddenly everything changes. So now let's put it together. You expect cool clients who will appreciate you, who will understand who you are and see the difference, where you don't have to sell yourself. So the question like, how are you any different, would never come up. Second, you create a very strong first impression. Fourth, you position yourself as an expert. There is part 4. And that is volume. Those are the systems we talked about at the beginning. You must have a volume of leads coming in. Because no matter how strong your mindset, first impression and positioning is, some people are just assholes. They're just difficult to deal with. Some people are just shoppers. You know, they have the Walmart mentality. Cheap, 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 no matter what. All agents are the same. You cannot please those, and you shouldn't. But if you have a volume of leads, if you have well-performing systems generating good stream of leads constantly, then if somebody is dicking you around, you can say, you know what, I appreciate the interaction, enjoyed our conversation, good luck to you, goodbye. And you're out of there, and you don't stress over it. Why? Because you have more. See, if I have only one, then I'm holding on to it for my dear life, because that's my next paycheck, that's my rent. But if I have a whole bunch, and one becomes too difficult or starts being arrogant or controlling, bye-bye. Thank you very much, next. So that's the core. That's why majority of your time should be spent on building and working the systems that generate good stream of leads. Is that making sense?
Yes, a lot.
Okay. Is that helpful?
Yes, very.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
That's how you stand out. Yeah?
Are you able to email me information about courses that you have about these things that you were talking to me about?
It's on your screen right now, Aura. It's called, the website is topconfidence.com.
I cannot see it on the screen.
Okay. You can just jot it down.
I don't have it in the screen anymore.
Not a problem. I can email it to you. If you also want to go, just go to topconfidence, T-O-P, and then word confidence.com. There's more information on the program. So you can check it out there. But yeah, I'd be happy to email you. Shoot me an email. If you guys want to get a hold of me, here's my email. Might as well give it to you. It's Borino, B-O-R-I-N-O, at expiredplus.com. Or you can just call our office. It's Borino at expiredplus.com. I'll send you more info, or you can check out the website, topconfidence.com. That's the latest one. And I can actually show you. Do you guys want to see real quick? I know you're on the phone, or you can't. But what you're going to get is a complete course, how to communicate. Dialogs, questions, core questions, probing questions, first impressions, follow-up, how to set up appointments, all that good stuff comes on cards. There are over 40 of them. There's a front.
See, the thing is that I have clients that they contact me. The feedback that they give is like they like the way I come through.
Yeah.
They go to other agents, and after that, at the 11th hour, they run coming to me.
Yeah.
They come back to me running because, oh my gosh, the other agents were not as
Yeah.
good as, or they didn't give us the information we were getting from you, but at the time they come back,
Yeah.
I mean, the deal may not be there anymore.
Right.
Or,
And then that's
you know,
another thing. Don't focus on buyers. Buyers are usually more finicky and picky, and they just chase things. Focus on sellers. That's the secret. All right. That was Aura from Florida. Thanks very much, Aura. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thanks.
Very much. And who's this? It's Borino. Welcome to the show. Hello? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? It's Borino. Area code 705. Who is that? We are on delay, so that may mess you up a little. If you're watching it online, we are about 60 seconds behind. Hey, it's Borino. Welcome to the show. Who is this?
Hey, Bruno, it's Sean out in Davenport, Iowa.
Hey, Sean. How are you, my man?
Good. It's been a while since I talked to you.
I know. How are things? Are you killing it, crushing it? Has this been a good year?
No, not yet. If you remember, we talked here a couple months ago when I got your Expired Plus.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I did get my first Expired here a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty exciting.
Good for you. Congrats. First of many, right?
Yeah. Hopefully first of many. My question is so right now I've got right around 60 properties that I'm doing follow-up on and expires that I've gone out, knocked on the door, given them the packet that I used off of your program, using all your letters. I was doing it every 2 weeks for the first month, and then I kind of extended it out a little bit just because of the sheer number of properties I'm trying to follow up on.
Okay.
And I like that Christmas card idea. I was kind of curious, though, as to your thought. I was thinking about going out to these properties and dropping off like a little Christmas box or a little something. Again, not saying, oh, are you ready to sell, but just like a little something that had a couple, little candy or something in it, just so I can try and get another personal touch in it. And I was kind of curious what your thoughts on that were.
Sean, I think that's a
And
great
then
idea. I think that's a really good idea. This would be like a Christmas ornament, a little bit of a candy, but here is how I would make it work. I wouldn't just drop it off. I would hand it to them. I would personally hand it to them because it's that, again, the personal connection. And just say, hey, Merry Christmas, just want to drop something small for you. I was in the neighborhood, just want to pop by. Wish you all the best. Thank you. That's it. You understand? But the trick is, see if they're home. Do it at the time, like Saturday morning or Sunday evening, where you know there's a very good chance you can reach them at home. I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. And then my second question
Uh-huh.
was, again, I've been using your letters because I like them a lot.
Thank you.
But now that I've been doing this follow-up for a couple months, I kind of ran out of letters. So I switched to, dropping in some market updates as far as what we have, new listings, just solds, some statistics to go with it as far as, what the business is doing. But now I'm kind of running out of ideas on what to send them next.
Yeah. Which program do you have, Sean? The Expired Express or the Expired Plus?
I have the Expired Plus.
The Expired Plus. Then you're clearly not following, my man. I'm going to bust your balls now. Because if you are, you have enough marketing firepower for about 6 months doing the sequence that's outlined in the book.
Okay.
So it's either you might have skipped the postcards or the market updates or anything else that's included in the sequence. But there is plenty. There are only, like, the letters are, forgive me, I don't know the exact count, but it's like 10 letters. There are 4 postcards. There are market updates. There are the mailers. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Now, if you do run out, you do run out. Then what you can switch to is anything else that you feel the customer would find interesting. They would find it helpful. They would find it funny, entertaining. In other words, anything you would like to receive. Your people are no different. Your customers are no different. They don't want to be sold. They don't want to be pressured. And they don't want to be just told about how fantastic you are. And I'm sure you are. It's just this is not the time and place for it. So your follow-up needs to be around stuff that may be helpful, may be interesting, may be cool. This could be resources, information, that kind of stuff. Now, one word of warning about information. People don't want more information. Now you're probably sitting there going, what, Borino? You're out of your mind? Information is cool. We all have plenty of information already. You don't get up in the morning and say, I need more information. What people want is insight. And the difference between information and insight is insight carries something that benefits them directly that they can act on in one way or another, that helps them in one way or another. It's not just passively absorbing some facts, but it's something that's meaningful to them, that impacts them directly, that they can do something with. That's the difference. So for example, you have an expired listing, and let's say they're thinking about doing some improvements. Sending them some info on improvement tips, how to go about it, how to hire a contractor, what is home inspection, what happens during home inspection, that kind of stuff, is insight, rather than just sending them a bunch of stuff about home repairs. Is that making sense, Sean?
It is.
So those are the kind of things you can keep in touch. Now, where the magic happens, just like with what we talked about, the SOI, is you need to vary it. And the most powerful element of your follow-up is not in the mail. We all get mail every day. And most of it goes in, not most, majority, if not all of it, goes in the trash. So don't rely on mail alone. And I know sometimes that's really the only way you can communicate with people. And that's fine. Do the best you can. And if mail is the only way you can, then so be it. But where the magic really happens is when you call them and talk to them on the phone, even if it's a short, simple conversation, or when you visit them in person. That's why your idea of dropping something little, not a bad idea. If you have the time and resources to do that, then yes, I would say go for it. But the conversation builds the connection, just like with the SOI we talked about a minute ago. Repetition, comfort, trust, through multiple channels. Is that making sense?
It is.
Okay, cool. So do you know what to do now?
I do. I need to go back and look through my expired plus again.
Yeah. There is a whole book there's a whole page that outlines the sequence in which you should send stuff and where to get it. And I also recommend, we partnered up, now we don't get paid, a disclaimer, we don't get paid by them, so it's not that. But we partnered up with Printerbees, and they have a nice set of expired postcards that you should incorporate in your variation. So you send a letter, you send a postcard, you send a market update, something cool and helpful, go back to postcard, letter, and you can repeat that sequence.
And that was Printerbees?
It's printerbees.com. Let me write it down on a board. Printerbees, as in buzzingbees.com. And if you look at their left nav, there's actually a Borino section where you can order the brochure, you can order the postcards. They're pretty cool. They come out nice, very nicely designed. They will personalize them for you, customize them for you, put your logo, your picture, all that good stuff is right there. Printerbees.com. Check them out. They do a nice job. All right, Sean, is there anything else, my man?
No, I just, I learned from you that it's the follow-up, and that's what I failed when I first started getting into this business.
I tell you, my numbers, your numbers will vary. Your numbers will be very different, and by no means I'm making any promises during this broadcast. Any of this will work for you. So please, you do your due diligence, but what I can tell you is that 80% of my expireds came from follow-up. And I also can give you a magic number. And that magic number is 5 to 15. That's where the majority of the conversion happens, is between contact 5 and 15. That was very consistent for me. And this could be a phone call, this could be an email, this could be a postcard, this could be a letter, package, any type of touch can result. But the sweet spot is right there, 5 to 15. And this could take a few days, this could take weeks, and this could take months. But I'd rather have a few months of follow-up than drive by the property and see a competitor sign there and go, shit, look at that. It's always a result of bad follow-up. Because think about it this way, Sean. Think about this. This will kind of bake a noodle. If somebody releases an expired listing, who usually gets it? It's usually not the best agent. Sometimes, but usually not. It's usually not the most experienced agent. The reason I know that is because many of you guys, not my clients, but the other guys who've been in the business for 20 years are still broke. So experience, not guarantee of success. Who usually gets the listing? The agent with the most persistent, best follow-up, who communicates well, and who has a system, who has a sequence. Right?
I think that's accurate.
Yeah. So all you got to do is set up a good follow-up, 5 to 15 touches, keep in touch with those folks, and make sure the phone or conversation is included, if at all possible. Sometimes it's a gated community. Sometimes the people don't live there. Sometimes you don't have the phone number. I understand. But if at all possible, magic. Magic happens when you talk to people. Just like in this call, like right now, Sean and I are chatting. I could record this as a video for you guys and just post it, and you can watch it. But it's not the same experience, right, Sean? It feels different than when you and I talk live like we are now.
It does.
It's the same thing. It's the same
But
thing.
that did generate a question here for you.
Yeah, sure.
So I've been following up with, like I said, about 60 properties now for the last couple months.
Yeah.
And I started out doing the mail follow-up every 14 days. And then now I've kind of dropped it back to now I'm doing that about once a month, sending them something. And then I'm trying to just go to their house. Most of them I don't have phone numbers for, so I just go and knock on the door and try and catch them at home in the evening or on the weekends and just have a quick conversation with them.
Sure.
And so I've been doing that about once a month over the last couple months. Is that a good ratio, or should I be trying to do more personal contact and less mail?
That's a really good question, Sean. It really depends. If somebody else is taking the listings that you had on your follow-up, that's a first red flag that your follow-up sequence is too spread out. My experience has been that after about 10 to 14 days, people tend to forget. Because they're just overwhelmed, and not just by real estate, but life. You know, they have bills and children and problems and work and health and all kinds of stuff on their mind. Selling a house and you are just a small part of that puzzle. So more repetition, just more frequency, bumping up the frequency often helps. That alone often is the solution. So I believe once a month is not enough. I don't think they know who you are or what you do or how to get in touch with you. I think they should. So maybe bring it up to every 21 days or even 14 days. Now, some of it depends on how you gauge the motivation of the lead. With the hot leads, I would ramp it up. If the lead is really hot and you know they're going to do something in January, man, they would be getting stuff all the time from me. But if somebody you feel like, they're about 6 months out, you can be a little more relaxed about it. But I think once a month is not enough. I would do it at least once every 3 weeks, minimum. And I would definitely vary the sequence, postcards, letters, calls, visits, all of that, emails, videos, everything I can include. The more, the better. Si, senor.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, my man. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Sean.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you. All right. That was my man, Sean. Good questions. Are you guys enjoying it? Good show so far? I think it's pretty good, right? Hey, it's Marino. Welcome to the show. Who is this? Area code 262.
Hi, Carol from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Carol, how are you doing, Rockstar?
Awesome.
Are you having fun? Are you learning good stuff?
Yeah. I've been calling a lot of expireds, and of course, I get a lot of wrong numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you have a quick thing I could say, like, oh, by the way, do you have any real estate needs? Because I'm just so happy I got a live person, and everybody knows somebody. So
everybody knows somebody. The problem is, imagine this scenario. It's Carol, right? Carol?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I get the name right. I don't call you Sean. But imagine this scenario. I call you, right? And we have a conversation. Yeah. It's clearly a wrong number. And I would say, hey, Carol, by the way, I'm a new dentist in the area. Would you like to come for a root canal?
Yeah, I guess that.
Or do you know somebody who needs a root canal that would like to come to my office?
Yeah.
Not likely, right? So
right.
I'm not discouraging you from asking. It's just your expectations need to be realistic, that you're a perfect stranger. They have no reason to even talk to you, let alone trust you, with saying, yes, my mother-in-law owns this $3 million property. Why don't you give her a call?
Okay.
You know what I mean? But here's what you can do. Instead of asking for business, why not ask, is there anything I can do for you? Do you guys have any questions? Can I send you a market update? Would you be at least curious what's going on in the neighborhood? I'd be more than happy to do that. Now, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Instead of being a salesperson
You're
begging for a list,
helping.
exactly. You're being helpful. So you offer them, and now, if they have no interest in moving or selling, would they ask for it? Probably not. Mm-hmm. But if there's something on their mind, why not? Cool. What is your name? What's your address? Let me, and I promise I won't bug you. I'm not going to put you on some crazy list now and annoy the shit out of you. I'll be very cool about it. But I also want to make sure that if you do have any questions or somebody who has questions, you know somebody who can help. Very different approach. Now again, what are you putting into use? The law of reciprocity. Mm-hmm. Now you're offering the first gift. Now you're the first one offering the free stickers, free samples, free whatever. to create the connection. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. And then my other quick question is
Uh-huh.
I went on a listing appointment, and the lady was definitely like handicapped. You know, she couldn't go downstairs. And she had 5 little dogs, and 3 of them were in cages, and 2 of them were nipping at my heels.
Yeah.
So I think I might get the listing, and we're going to have to address that. So I wanted to know a tactful way of how are we going to handle the dogs.
Be honest first. Before you're tactful, be honest. You get hired because you're considered an advisor, somebody who's there to help, to solve a problem, to handle a situation they don't know how. So I would not worry too much about hurting somebody's feelings. It's just like your doctor. Imagine this. You go to a doctor and they say, well, you know, you have a tumor, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, so we're going to prescribe aspirin.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
Right.
I know it's bad news, but God damn it, let's tell me the bad news and let's fix it. That's the
Right.
expectation I have from a professional who I pay a lot of money. Same thing here. Now, yes, be tactful, be decent about it, but don't be ambiguous. So that means you will still be polite and kind, but you will be very specific, very clear, and there'll be no plan B. This is what needs to happen. In order for us to help you sell your property and put as much cash in your pocket as humanly possible, we got to take care of the situation. Now, you can do it one of 2 ways. Either you offer a couple of solutions. How would you go about it? Or you discuss it with her. What do you think we can do? These puppies cannot be here. And I understand you're very attached to them. I have pets myself and I treat them like kids. I'm the same way. I get it. But in order for us to really get this done, we got to fix it. What do you suggest? Or you come with solution. Can it go to a family member, a friend, a neighbor? Now, this may be a permanent until, of course, the property sells, or this may be just while it's being shown. I don't know. You need to decide what is the ideal solution. But you come in with a solution. And don't be ambiguous, and don't be hesitant. I know this is hard, and I know it's like getting rid of your kids. I get that. Although there are times where I wouldn't mind getting rid of my kids, at least for a couple hours. Not in the cage, of course, but you get my point.
Right.
Remember, your status is always high status, advisor, expert. See yourself, and I'm not kidding when I say you guys got to see yourself as doctor, an attorney, a CPA. You know what I mean? Somebody who has the power to make these decisions and calls for them. That's why you get hired, because these are unpleasant and sometimes for them unmanageable situations where they don't have a solution. You have to come up with one. Okay?
Awesome. Glad I called in. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you did too. Merry Christmas, Carol.
Okay. You too.
Bye. That
Bye.
was rockstar Carol, who has a trouble with dogs eating her feet while listing properties. Hey, it's Borino, Vancouver, British Columbia. Hola to Canada. Who is this?
My name is David.
David, how are you doing, my man?
Good. We got the system from you, the Express Plus, and we've been following it
Okay.
for the last 2.5 years,
Uh-huh.
and it's brought us great success. So
Oh, good
I want
for
to
you.
Call you first of all to thank you.
Thank you for that, David.
we-
Appreciate it.
We sell about $150 million worth of real estate.
Nice.
So it's pretty good. We do the top location, so houses here are pretty expensive. They're about $5 million plus each.
Nice. Those are nice commissions.
So
What's your average commission? What do you normally make per house?
We try not to touch anything below 40K
Oh,
because there are 2 of us, right?
Yeah.
So then we're
that's a good lifestyle, though, right? You're doing all right. You're not hurting.
thank you. But recently, we had 3 or 4 appointments that we went to. That because of all our marketing has been quite successful. We get called. So
Okay.
we get called. We go sit down with them, and they're all very impressed. And somehow they won't find the listing right there.
Okay.
Okay, give us a bit of time. I have to think about it. And then turn around 3 or 5 days later, somebody else listed the property, sold it 2 days later.
Yes.
Gone.
So what is the problem?
That's why.
That's why you're calling. Okay. We'll fix that. Do you have the Presentation Plus too? I mean, I'm not here to sell you guys anything. This really isn't about selling you stuff. I wanted to tell you about Core Influence because I think it's killer. But if you're struggling with listings where either people fight you on commissions, or they get you stuff like, we got to think it over, we're going to interview more agents, any of that, get the Presentation Plus. I'm not kidding. It is the most complete listing presentation system. And once you master it, it doesn't take a whole lot. But once you do, it is the easiest presentation you've ever done. No joke. All right, but here's what's happening. Are you on video as well, David? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
OK, good. You're going to be a little on the delay on the video, so just hang in there. But here's what happens. OK, so this is the timeline, standard life of a lead. You make a first contact. That's the first part. You initiate a contact with them, expired listing, you make a call, or they call you, or there's some kind of communication. Then you set up appointment. Set up appointment. That's phase 2. Then you confirm appointment.
Right.
Okay. This is some between the first contact and set up appointment. There is follow-up, of course. Follow-up. Okay, so this is follow-up. Then you confirm, and then there is an actual appointment. Okay? So first contact, set up appointment, confirm appointment. And then here, some crap happens. And you say, well, I got to fix it. I got to fix my presentation. Not necessarily. See, the problem did not occur here. It's just the result of a problem. The problem happens somewhere here or here in this window. Okay? That's where the issue happened. Right here, not here. When your first impression is, when you're perceived from the beginning as just as another agent, as one of many, sellers go into price comparison mode. Think about it this way. Are you married, David? Married guy?
Yes.
Okay. So pretend you're single for a while. Horrible thought, I know, but just pretend. Just pretend, okay? And imagine you want to date. You want to start meeting girls. If you go online and come up to a website where there are 15 pictures of girls, you go into a comparison mode. And suddenly you start discarding because they all seem the same in a way. Whereas imagine you walk into a coffee shop and there is a lovely girl sitting at the table by herself. Very different perception because there is no comparison. Suddenly she is very much by herself. Similar thing happens right here. It's either you're perceived as just one of many in this group when they're comparison shopping, or you stand out. Your goal from the very beginning is to position yourself away from everybody else. Because here's the problem. If you're perceived as just one of many and they start comparison shopping, here's the seller's logic. If all these agents are pretty much the same, doing the same thing, sounding the same, being the same, my experience of them is pretty much the same, might as well get the cheapest one and shop based on price, which is commission, obviously. Might as well save as much money as possible, find the one who will do it for as little as possible, and that's our choice. So the secret is you must position away from everybody else. And that happens through several channels. One is, of course, your marketing. Cannot look and say the same thing everybody else is saying. That's number one. But the most important, this is really the secret, is your communication. And I'm not going to hammer it anymore, but that's why I released Core Influence. Is because you must communicate differently. You must come across differently. And it is not in slick scripts, and it is not in being aggressive. It is not about being pushy. On contrary, that will put you right here with everybody else who is just another salesperson. It is about status. It is about how you're perceived, how your power is perceived, your social status is perceived, and your success is perceived. Now notice I say perceived. This is subconscious and very subjective experience that people have of you that may or may not have anything to do with reality. It's simply their perception. But to them, that's their reality. So then the million-dollar question is, how do I do that? Through the right communication. The way you do that through the right communication is from the very beginning, you even out the playing field with the seller. Normally, the relationship is like this. This is your average agent. I'm going multimedia on you again. Normally, not yours, the other agents, those that don't watch this broadcast or are not my clients, they are down here on the status position, okay? and the seller is up here. You are right here, or maybe even slightly above the seller in the way you position yourself. So let me give you an actual practical example you can incorporate right away. Imagine you're talking to a seller and you say, David, let's do this. Why don't we meet tomorrow, since you guys are thinking about putting the house on the market, and we're going to spend about 20-30 minutes in my office going over everything. I will show you how much the house will sell for, realistically, how long will it take to sell, what would be the best list price, and maybe some improvements and repairs we can do to the property. And at the end, we'll decide. Maybe we'll like each other, maybe we don't. Maybe we'll click and decide to work together, maybe we won't. I don't know. I have two rules, I only list properties I know I can sell. I only work with people that I like and they like me. So let's get together tomorrow, go over everything. Now, regardless of the outcome, maybe you decide not to work with me and that's perfectly all right. Maybe I decide not to work with you and I'm sure that's not going to be a problem for you. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but sometimes we're just not a good match. But regardless of the outcome, you are going to walk away with a lot of good information. Fair enough? Notice, David, how I immediately position myself equal. You have the right to walk away, but I have the right to walk away as well. How many agents do you think do that? Close to zero. Because most agents are anxious to get the listing, anxious to get the appointment. They don't want to screw it up. They don't offend the seller. They come across as fearful, needy, which is down here, or too aggressive, which is up here, which is no good either. Because then it's going to put you right there in this group. Is that making sense? Hello? Dave, can you hear me? We might have lost him. Is it making sense to you guys? Hello, Dave? And we might have lost him. Yeah, looks like we did. Anyway, is this making sense to you guys? Do you understand how you need to, from the beginning, the communication and the entire process must be, let's see if we can work together. Let's see if you and I click. Let's see if we're a good match. And from the beginning, it's even. We're in this together. We are a team. Now, the cool thing about that, if you do this right, if you study it and do it, there are two parts to it. Do the Communication Plus, get the program, Core Influence, I'll show you how, and do the Presentation Plus. There is no tension here between the two of you. There is no antagonistic tension, me versus you. Instead of doing this, you against me, we have to push and commission and price and terms and length of the listing and all that. It's you and I together. We're in this together. We are a team. We're partners. Very different experience for you and also for your client. So that's how you do it. Okay? So if you want to come aboard, get the top confidence, get it. It's really good. The Presentation Plus, the URL is listingpresentationplus.com. Really good program. Again, not to pitch you anything, but my obligation to tell you what's going on. The Core Influence, I forgot to tell you, comes with these dialog cards. This handles all your prospecting, all your follow-up up to a listing appointment. First contact, questions, probing, core, power questions, all high probability leads are there. FSBOs, expireds, referrals, all that is part of it. This you will get in the mail, and you will also get a workbook, and you will also get access to 19 videos, including this one. This is pretty cool. We put together a workshop. I did a live private workshop for my clients here in DC recently. And it was all about the stuff we're talking about right now. First impressions, strong positioning, getting appointments, talking to clients, using the high status. And as you see, about halfway through the workshop, we actually got on the phone. Using the tools that I was sharing with everybody in the room, people got on the phone, and in 15 minutes, we got 5 appointments, which such a small group is pretty good. Now again, a disclaimer, by no means this is a promise or a guarantee that this will work for you, but you will see how it all works in real life. A lot of the tools and a lot of the strategies and techniques I teach in this workshop, this was just one-time thing, private thing, I have never taught anywhere else. So the way you're going to get it, this is a free bonus. If you do come aboard and do the top confidence when you get it, it's less than $300. It's a really good program. So if you get it, we are finishing the workshop video, and it's an all-day thing. So my guys are editing it and finishing it up. It's going to be ready in just a few days. You'll be able to watch that in addition to the 18 videos where you have all kinds of real-life examples, samples of how to do that, me coaching you on status, on feeling confident, communicating well. All that is part of the program. All right. So that was top confidence. Hey, it's Borino. Who is this? Welcome to the show. Hello, can you hear me? I guess not. And this should be Augustina. Augustina, it's Borino. How are you? Hello, Augustina? Augustina, hon, do me a favor. Mute your computer audio because we can hear it. I'm getting a loop here. Are you there? Hello? Augustina? This is Borino. That's kind of narcissistic, isn't it? Listen to yourself. Smart things this man is saying, right? Augustina, darling, can you hear me? Hello? I guess not. Do me a favor, dial back in. Patricia? Hello.
Hi, Borino.
Hey, Patricia, how are you, hon?
I'm doing great. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas. Patricia was one of the rock stars that was with us here in DC. That was a good workshop. Wasn't it fun?
It was fantastic. I loved it. It was
Good.
great. Thank you.
You're going to get a copy of the video that I just showed. It's several hours from the workshop. Really good stuff. Loaded with good tips. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So, Borino, I have a question for you, if you could address. So I went after an expired listing. I dropped off a package, and then I followed up with phone calls. And she kept saying, you know, call me on Wednesday, call me here, call me there. And every time she did it, I did exactly what she said. And then I received a phone call from her and said, I would like to have a friendly chat with you.
Okay.
Because I kept saying that in all my correspondence. Let's just have a friendly chat. So when I went to speak with her, she says to me, you know, we were just having a casual conversation, and I said something about, you know, possibly adjusting the price a little, you know, and she said, oh, no, I want my price, you know, I want a buyer that has a vision for what can be done, because on the block, you know, sometimes they knock down these houses and put up these big monsters.
Sure.
So she said, I want a buyer that has a vision for the future, and it's important that you as the agent, you know, you have to give off the vibe that you believe in this higher price.
So, Patricia, let me just
really
make sure I
much.
understand.
I actually, no, wait, I did say, you know, I said, Marie, it's, you know, it's like as if you were selling Apple stock. I says, you know, it's what it is that day, and I didn't really want to elaborate too much.
Yeah.
I know she definitely wants to sell because she said she's starting to pack. She's in Florida right now, and when she comes back, she's putting the home on the market. But how can I talk to her about price that's going to make sense when she's so headstrong about it?
She is. Here is what you do. Do not talk about price until the actual listing appointment. There are two things you do not discuss, no exceptions. And that's price and that's commission.
I know I shouldn't have said anything.
You should have not said anything, because now she's in control and now she's qualifying agents based on the price they quote her, which is normal for a seller. It's a normal seller behavior, but you don't want to be disqualified just because you're honest.
She told me, she said 40 agents contacted her, and she chose me because I did everything I said I was going to do.
Well, you're a rock star agent. You're very friendly, you're knowledgeable, you're very helpful, so you're on the right track. So here's what you do. I wouldn't worry about the price at all. Here's why. It's never about the price. It is never about the price. What is it about? It is about core driving emotion. What is the real reason she's moving? Why does she need to sell? What is the problem?
She's moving to be with her. She's moving to Florida to be with her son.
Why?
I don't know.
And that's the problem. You must know exactly what is the pain and what is the pleasure that's driving her, and how intense it is. Because here's the reason. If she goes through the steps and overprices the property, it is not because she's stupid. People are not stupid. They just don't make rational decisions. They think they do, but it's not logical. It's emotional. And if the emotion is not strong enough, they will take the steps not to sell and convince themselves that it's about the price. It's never about the price. And the reason I'm saying it's never about the price, because the price is what the price is.
Right.
She cannot change it. You cannot change it. You don't decide what the house is going to sell for, just like the seller will never decide what the house is going to sell for. So the only decision they're going to make is, are we going to stay or are we going to go? And is the, let's say, $200,000 cash that we're going to walk away with enough to get us to Florida? That's the only discussion you have. It's not about the price. Now, it doesn't mean you don't discuss price. You obviously do. But it must be, remember how we talked with David a little while ago, that the status needs to be you're the expert, and your high status clearly sets from the beginning, I'll be honest with you, you don't control the price. It is not up to you. And I know this hurts and I know it's unpleasant to hear, but that's the reality. Why? Because that's the truth. That is the truth. No agent in this world is powerful enough to control the price. It's really that simple.
Okay.
Who controls the price? The buyer and the bank. End of conversation. Now, whether the buyer sees the potential, whether the buyer sees the vision, as she calls it, is irrelevant. If the price is right, somebody's going to buy it. If the price is not right, nobody's going to buy it. It's really that simple. Vision, no vision. If the price is right, there's a right buyer out there who will buy this house, who will fall in love with it, whether remodel it, knock it down, do whatever. But this house, Mary, once you move out, becomes a commodity. Whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, whether we appreciate it or not, that's the reality. And it has a very specific price tag, and it's that price tag a buyer is willing to pay. It is not about what you think the house is worth. It is not about how much you think you should get, and it is not about what you need to get. None of that is relevant. It's valuable, and it's your home. I know you're attached to it, and I understand in your mind it has a certain value. But no buyer would ever care. Just like when you go down to Florida, would you care what the seller thinks they should get? No, you're only going to pay what you think is the actual value of the house you're going to buy. Not a penny more. And nobody else would. And no agent in this world can put a gun against buyers and says, pay $10,000 more or $50,000 more. It doesn't work that way. They only going to pay what a market value is. That's it. What a fair price is. So the decision she's got to make is not how much she's going to sell for. That is not important. What's really important is how much being with her son in Florida really matters to her. How much pain and how much pleasure is it going to bring to her life to either stay or move. That's why it's so important, guys. That's why I'm so adamant about teaching you this stuff. You got to get into the core driving emotion. That's why the meta questions and the core questions that we go over in core influence are so important. Because without them, you cannot influence anybody, you cannot understand them, and you can definitely not communicate on the level that you need to. Because the rest of the agents will be on the surface, talking about moving to Florida and knocking the house down and the basic stuff. There is stuff underneath it that's triggering all these emotions. And it may be, I've had sellers like that, I'm sure you did too, or you have, who sign the paperwork, who go through the motions, jump through the hoops, and then when a good offer is presented, they stall. Have you ever had that happen, Patricia? Anybody? You guys?
Yes.
And you go, what the fuck? I mean, this is a great offer. What's wrong with you people? Are you mental? This is a fantastic offer. We should move forward. Great buyer, good price. Let's negotiate a few $1,000s and move on. And they won't. Why is that? Are they making rational, logical decisions? The answer is no, they're not. They're making emotional decisions. And suddenly the reality of moving, the fear of moving, or whatever else they associate with selling and moving, kicks in so strong that it overrides their hopes and dreams and desires, and they stay where they are. So you can save yourself a lot of hassle, a lot of time, by understanding their position up front, by communicating well, asking the right questions. But there is one, well, of course not. Otherwise you would have known and you could have addressed it. But here's the second part to it, Patricia. This will help you even more. Going through this process, and there are, in this stack, there I think, you have the questions, right, Patricia? You have the core influence.
Yes.
Okay, so just go there. There are about 15 of these questions you're going to go through, and they're very personal, very pleasant. These are not like interrogation or sales things. This has nothing to do with selling. I despise selling. But here's what's going to happen. Not only you will get clear, what is she trying to do, where she's coming from, and what's going to happen, but she will get clear. And it's even more valuable at times, because they will get clarity by these probing questions. Just like when you sit with a doctor or a psychiatrist or somebody who's there to help you, they will ask a lot of questions so that they get clear, but you get clear. And then the connection happens, and it's so powerful. The bond is so powerful, and the influence you will have over these people is so incredible. Because now all those walls that they put up, agent trying to get the listing, undersell my property, overcharge me on commissions, all that disappears.
I understand.
Is that making sense? Now, it
Yes.
does take practice, And it does take a little bit of balls to do that. I understand that this is not your standard 3-4 question that everybody else is teaching out there. But if you want to connect with these people, if you want to get more business, and if you really want to position yourself higher above everybody else, especially these days when the clients are really changing, the amount of information alone is changing the perception that the consumers have today on the real estate industry. You got to keep up.
I think I'm afraid that when I ask the questions, they're going to become quite annoyed with me. What do I do if that happens? As I'm questioning them, you could see that it's clearly annoying them.
Call it out. Here's what I would do. We would have a conversation, and among other things, I would say, Patricia, let me ask you, what really matters to you about being in Florida? I'm just trying to understand, so that we can decide what is the best way to approach this. What matters to you the most? Now, be annoyed.
It's getting to be too much for me, so I just want to...
no, hold on.
I'm going to buy a house with my son and his wife.
Oh, good for you. So is it the family connection that really matters to you more than anything?
Well, it's just, having a home by myself is just too much. It's just too much for me now.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, if you stayed here for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years, what would happen?
I can do that. That's not really a problem.
Huge red flag.
Either way, I'm good.
See, that's a huge red flag immediately. If they're already contemplating staying there, it's no big deal. You're going to run into other problems later. This is what I'm talking about. The intensity of the core drive and emotion, their emotion and their motivation is low. It's no big deal to them to stay. You don't have a motivated seller. And there is nothing you can do or say to make an unmotivated seller motivated.
I don't think she's being honest with me because she's telling me she's packing. She's already started packing. But then just because I'm there, she's trying, she doesn't really want to, how they try to hide.
That's a smokescreen. Yeah,
it was just a short first-time visit.
Yeah, that could be a smokescreen. And if that's the case, what you focus in not on steps and marketing and logic. You focus on trust. Building trust with her. And these questions will build in more than anything else. They will not be annoyed. And if they get annoyed, I would say, is something annoying you? I'm trying to understand your situation. Maybe this will help you get clear as well. Is there something bothering you? Did I say something wrong? Because I apologize if I did. I didn't mean to, but I do need to know the answers. Well, I'm absolutely not telling you anything. And you blah, 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 blah. Well, thanks for your time. What do you want me to do? You want me to leave or you want to continue?
Perfect.
I mean, I have nothing to lose.
I personally have to stop being scared of these people.
Bingo.
I don't know why I'm scared of them.
Bingo.
But
so how do you get better? You practice
I
it.
have to stop being scared of them.
Remember what we talked about a while ago with Aura. I think it was Aura. Mindset. You practice these dialogues, just like the whole thing. You get the workbook, right? This is the workbook that comes with Core Influence. Might as well sell you on it. You guys should go out and get it. This is a good Christmas present for yourself. I know you do. So you go through it. You practice these things. You study it. That's number one. And number two, don't ever get attached to just one.
Right.
Because if you hold on so tight to just one, you're missing opportunity of plenty of nice people who need your help, who are looking for you. But because you're so stuck on this particular one, you may be missing. So go in from the very beginning. Notice that when we do these role plays and I do these scripts with you guys, I am at any point completely okay with getting up and leaving. I have no problem with it whatsoever. And once they sense it, that there is no pressure on my part, everything relaxes. Because I have no agenda other than, let's find out. Let's talk. You can ask me questions. She is free to ask you questions, right?
Yes.
Why not you having the same freedom? Why not? And yes, some people will be angry and some people will not answer. Next. I mean, think about it. 5 million transactions. Patricia, there is so much business out there. There are so many listings, so many clients who need you. Don't get stuck on one that can be a jerk. No point, no need. Make sense?
Totally. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Do the best you can with what you've got. Be cool and then move on if it's time to move on.
Okay, got it.
Good deal. All right.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure as always. All right. Is this Adriana?
Adriana.
That's what I have here.
Mine is registered, the account is registered to her, but it's Maury, actually. Maury Efrak. How are you, Barino?
Adriana, what's wrong with your voice? You sound like a dude.
So do you. What happened to you? Sex change?
Hey, Maury, my man. How you doing?
I'm great, Barino. I'm just looking at myself there on the screen.
Did you see yourself in the video? Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, very nice, very nice. Listen, I don't have a question, but I want to pay you a compliment. I was obviously at the workshop, and I always find your material fresh, cutting edge. The content is terrific, and like you said, it's filled with human psychology, something you're great at that you mentioned at the workshop. And I'm always excited to learn something new and to join the conferences. So for that, I want to thank you from beautiful Arlington, 55 degrees and a gorgeous day.
Nice. Thank you for that, Maury. Appreciate it, my man.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too. Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's Maury. He's the dude I put that hat on. That was kind of funny. You'll see it in the video. Augustina is back. Can you hear me now, Augustina? Hello? My dear Augustina. Oh, there you are. Augustina, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's nice to chat with you. Good session today?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
My question, I'm enjoying it. It's a really good session, and
Thank
I
you.
like everything that you I have a question, and I think it was probably already answered.
Uh-huh.
I had done the door knock on the property. The woman was home. I chatted with her a little bit, gave her my package, and I was never ready. I was never really ever able to connect with her. I've been sending her information and letters like every 4 days, and she has not responded to anything that I've sent. I've sent her invitations to seminars. I've sent her Thanksgiving cards. I even sent her a needle in a haystack.
Okay.
And she has not responded to anything. I don't know what else to send her.
Okay. Again, just do the regular follow-up, send cool stuff, but here are two more things I'm going to add to it, Augustina.
Okay.
Get more. Don't be stuck on just one, because some people will never respond for whatever reason. She may already have a great agent, great relationship with somebody, and you're just a nuisance to her. That's a possibility. This could be a friend, a relative, or somebody that really has developed a strong bond with the seller. That's one option. Second option is selling is not that important to them.
Okay.
It just doesn't matter a whole lot to them. It was one of those things that plans change, their emotions change, their opinions change, life changes. So that's two.
Okay.
And then three, just keep doing it, what you're doing. What's the worst that can happen? They're going to list with somebody else or not list. If they list with somebody else, so be it. If they list with you, great. If they don't, next. You're not going to get them all no matter what.
I know. And I like that next. It's just like I seem to just focus on getting that one listing, and then I do away with everything else, and that's a problem for me.
Think about it this way. If I'm holding this tight to this marker, I cannot grab more. You know what I mean? I cannot get more.
Yeah.
But if I'm willing to let it go, if I say, well, you know what, I'm going to keep mailing and calling once in a while, but I'm moving on, you can get more because there is plenty more. This is always the hard part for me, is to show you guys, to inspire you and demonstrate how much business there is out there. I mean, look at the NAR report. They're predicting 5 million deals closed by the end of this year. That's a lot of business. Imagine the amount of commissions paid. Somebody's making money. Somebody's moving. Somebody's buying. Somebody's selling. Why not you? You are a great agent. You, Augustine, and everybody else watching it, I attract cool agents. That's why I like doing what I do, because you got good caliber agents. There's plenty of business around you, and they'll be same next year. It's not going to tank or change. You got to go out and find more. That's the thing. Yeah?
I have another question
Yeah.
to Barino. I had invited a prospect from my church, a woman that I've been around quite a bit, and to dinner, and we were talking, and my business came up, and he said, "Oh, if I was going to sell my house, I would never use you."
And you said?
I have so many other people. I've got so many other people I know who are realtors.
Okay, stop.
And
Stop for a second. Let's role play that.
Okay.
Say it.
Okay, I'm going to be her then.
Yes.
So, Barino, if I was going to sell my house, I would never use you.
Why not? That's kind of insulting. Why not? Don't you think it's kind of rude to say to a nice person like me?
Yeah, I should have came back with that.
I mean, seriously, why not?
Yeah. Well, because I've got at least 5 other friends who are real estate people.
Good
And
for you.
I
Well,
don't
we all
want to
know.
hurt their
Well,
feelings.
see, you got to be careful. Why are they saying it? Do I trust those people more than I trust you?
Yeah.
Is that really the issue? And I would say, well, it's good to know somebody you can trust. Absolutely. And this business is critical.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I don't like you either. Maybe we can't be clients to begin with. Maybe we can't work together anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I would position high status immediately, and I would immediately say, it's okay. You can't hurt my feelings. I can't list all homes here anyway. So many sellers just want me, so not everybody can be my client anyway.
I like that. I'll use that. I just was so taken aback by it because I had it was just.
Because it's rude. It's harsh. It's rude. And I would call them out on it. That's rude. I would ask them, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm an engineer. I'd never use your firm. I know other firms. Well, that hurts. That hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Don't be. You don't have to be rude. I appreciate you have other people. That's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of good agents in my area you can trust. Sure. But no need to be rude. I would totally call them out on it.
Yeah.
And be willing to let it go, because it's possible they have one or two or whatever that really are bonded with them, and to break that, sometimes it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point. I think that the reason why I feel like I'm taking all this is because I feel like I just want to get these listings, so I'm willing to just take the abuse. And
why? Because you don't have enough flow of good leads coming in, so you can be selective. You know what I mean?
That's right.
There's a sense of desperation. If I don't have 2 or 3 good listing appointments lined up every week, then the one I do have, I'd be like, oh shit, I better put my act together and really do a good job and make sure I get this sucker, because if I don't list a home, I don't get paid. If I don't get paid, I go hungry. As opposed to if I have 2 or 3 lined up every week and the seller comes in and they're a real jerk, and I say, next, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
Well,
I have some students who do that.
can.
Yeah, especially you, hon. With your integrity and your caliber and your ability to communicate and your commitment, there's no doubt in my mind you could do it. Yeah?
Well, yes, thank you so much.
Oh, always a pleasure chatting with you. Merry Christmas to you and your family, okay?
Merry Christmas.
Take care. That's Agustina, and this is my all-time favorite man, Mr. Mike Cribbin, everybody. That may sound familiar to you, this name. Mike is the gentleman who did that cool interview with us and shared so many good tips. Mike, my man, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. It's great to talk to you again. It's been a while.
It's nice to talk to you, too.
Yeah.
I beat you to the punch this time, though. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you.
Yeah, hey, I don't have a question. I have a comment.
Please.
I've got the Core Influence. Started looking at it.
Okay.
Couldn't put it down from the day I got it. Read through the whole thing that night. And I just think that is a really cool tool to be coupled with your Expired Plus. I think it is great.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for that, Mike. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And remember I told you that I normally want to take off from October till probably early February?
Now, here's the guy. Mike, how many deals are you going to close by the end of the year? What did you say? Would you hit 100?
Well, I wanted to hit 100,
okay,
but I'm at 123.
Ooh.
And I can't stop getting business. I tried to turn it off the end of October,
yeah,
but from the marketing and so forth, it just kept coming.
Yeah.
So I just kind of took what came in, and I'm at 114 closed right now.
Nice.
I've got 123 planned before the end of the year.
Good deal. That's good. Guys, if you have a chance, if you haven't watched it yet, whether you're my listing university students or this is one of those interviews I thought was so good and loaded with so many tips, I posted it on my channel on YouTube. Check it out. Watch it. Send Mike a thank you email or post a comment. I'll forward it to him. It is loaded with advice. By the way, many already came in and said that was fantastic. So thanks for that, Mike. Good for you. So good year. Now, what do you think is one secret more than anything that caused you to have such a good year? What would be one thing, if you would narrow it down to something that would be actionable to everybody else watching it now, who want to do better, who want more business, what would you tell them?
Confidence.
Ah, interesting.
You have to be confident that you can get the deal done. And if you feel positive and you feel confident, you will get it done. And I'm not trying to plug your material here, but the scripts that you've got in there and some of the bullet points,
yeah,
if you get those down, they will help your confidence grow exponentially.
Doesn't it feel better
great.
and easier to be able to communicate on that level? Because these are not your 1987 scripts either. This is not the regurgitated sales crap you've been fed for so many years. This is new, fresh stuff.
Oh, exactly.
Good.
This stuff is, well, it's cutting edge today and tomorrow. Now, what comes up later? Well, I'm sure you've got another book coming out in another year that'll update things. That's what's so good about you, that you stay on the cutting edge. You stay out there in front of the market. It is really good.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Mike. Man, really appreciate it. What a lovely way to end this last session of the year. Mike, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you, to your lovely wife, your kid, to everybody. Might as well
Thank you.
put the attire
Merry
on.
Christmas to you and all the listeners.
Thank you.
And I'll look forward to your next session.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. That was my man, Mike Cribben. Great guy, great agent. Over 120 deals this year. Pretty good. So, might as well put the attire on, right? This is your Coach Borino. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Not just today. I want to close the session today by saying it's been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to interact with you, to answer your questions, to answer your emails, to work with you personally, to do the videos for you, to write the systems, write the books, to coach you. Because you are the soldiers on the front line. You are the ones fighting the good fight every day, helping people and elevating the industry overall by your professionalism and your skill and your commitment. And that commitment, to me, means the world. So, I wanted to say thanks. Thanks for being a client. Thanks for being a subscriber, a student, List University students. I very much appreciate all of you guys. For those of you that have come on board and got the Core Influence program, very much appreciate it. I'm going to have some more cool stuff for you. We are working on a new FSBO program. We are working on a video program, how to do videos, cool real estate videos if you're on a budget and all you have is an iPhone, so that's coming. More workshops. We have a Double Your Listings Bootcamp coming in January. We're starting January 12th, which is a Monday. 7 intense weeks of us working together, building your business, your lead generation, your follow-up, and your listing presentation, the entire system put together in 7 weeks. Any questions? For the last time, here's my email, borino@expertplus.com. You can also call us. And with that, my friends, I would like to wish you on behalf of Roseanne and Hannah and everybody here at Borino Productions a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the best to you. And I, from the bottom of my heart, wanted to wish you 2015 to be the best year you have ever had. Thank you very much, rock stars. This is your Coach Borino saying, let's go get 'em. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your holidays. I'll talk to you real soon.